Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're taking an early look at the brand new legacy move given to Kommo'o during its calm day, and that is Clanging Scales. Now, Clanging Scales is the best damage per energy move ever put into the game. 2.66 damage per energy, 120 base damage for only 45 energy, and you lower your defense by 1 stage to use it. Now, this is far and away the most efficient move that has ever been added to the game. It is a dragon type move, and unlike V-Create, the next closest, which debuffs your defense by 3 stages, this move only debuffs Kommo'o by 1 stage. Now, these battles are submitted to the channel by a member of the community, Smudgy B, so many thanks for the battle submission. Obviously, the leagues that are available right now are not really great to showcase Kommo'o in, so he was kind enough to do some Great League practice battles, so we get to see what Kommo'o and its new move Clanging Scales can do in the Great League. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches, and what a lead in game number 1, Gastrodon versus Drapion. Opponent save switches into a Fury Cutter Golisopod, which will swiftly be answered with Kommo'o. Opponent tried to CMP-tie with the Clanging Scales, and that's just going to give an entire free Dragon Tail to Kommo'o. Kommo'o shielded up the first, checking for a potential Aerial Ace. It looks like no Aerial Ace to be seen, and that means Kommo'o is going to get a massive farm down of Golisopod. Exiting with back-to-back Clanging Scales, in comes Drapion, and this is gonna hurt. Clanging Scales, nearly a full one-hit KO, even with the defense drop. We see Kommo'o farm down, leave with a second Clanging Scales, and that's going to guarantee a shield from Shadow for Alligator. Shadow for Alligator going to be swiftly answered with Shadow Drapion. Drapion can survive this Hydro Cannon, but it will inflict way too much damage. Drapion now going to go for the Crunch. Crunch is going to be shielded, but there's the Crunch debuff, and that means that this Aqua Tail is going to be doing quite a bit more damage than it normally would. The Aqua Tail lands, and for Alligator, there's just no hope remaining, as the Gastrodon is not in a range where one Hydro Cannon will be able to pick up the knockout. So Gastrodon will be able to tank 1, shield 1, and fully farm down. We do see a catch attempt there. Unfortunately, the catch attempt not going to be successful, but Gastrodon, even without getting the bad manners catch, is going to comfortably take this win as Mudslap KOs for Alligator. Bad lead in the next match, Gastrodon into Credilli. Oh, it's Bullet Seed Credilli as well. The safe switch to Drapion answered with Lapras. Lapras, a very important Pokemon to bait out here. Obviously, Kommo'o really not going to appreciate these super effective Psy Waves. Opponent will fire off their energy right before Crunch number 2 is reached. Sparkling Aria is going to land. This next Crunch will not KO, but it will put the opponent perilously low. The opponent is going to put up a shield, and it looks like Drapion will not get farmed down. The opponent forced to fire off a last-second Sparkling Aria to pick up the knockout. So down goes Drapion, but Lapras was baited out, and on top of that, shield advantage has been obtained. Lapras farming up so much energy here. They did farm to a Skull Bash, so if they have it, they're going to throw the Skull Bash here. They do not. It's just the Sparkling Aria. There's the switch to Kommo'o. In the back is going to be Shadow Gligar. Gligar down a shield, I think, is going to be in some trouble. Gligar obviously can fire off super effective Aerial Aces, but Kommo'o has the shields to hide behind. Dragon Claw will not KO here, but Clanging Scales definitely will. Opponent tries to call the bait, and goodbye Gligar. In comes Credilli. Credilli gets to launch a Rock Tomb at a -1 defense Kommo'o. Kommo'o is able to hang on and will now bait with the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw bait. Does the opponent decide to respect it? No, they end up no shielding, and that is a little bit unfortunate. Kommo'o can't quite get the double up on Dragon Claws here. Dragon Claw is going to force the shield, but Gastrodon had the Earth Power banked from earlier. Earth Power winning charge stack priority over Credilli. Down goes Credilli, and that's a win. We move to the next match, and it's going to be the Battle of Mud Boys, Gastrodon versus Shadow Swampert. Swampert obviously going to have a pacing advantage in this matchup. Very nice timing from the opponent, throwing 7 in the move. 1 Hydro Cannon, not going to be a problem for Gastrodon. Gastrodon building up to the Earth Power, baiting with the Body Slam. Shadow Swamperts love to shield, but this Swampert flips the script. They say no shields, and now they're just going to win the zeros. That's a very nice bait call there by the opponent. In comes Drapion to poison this thing down. Opponent is going to pivot out and send in Pangoro. Switch locking Pangoro means that Drapion energy is something their backline cannot deal with, so they kind of had to pivot this in out of necessity. A no shield, and what a call. Calling that the Night/Bait was going to be fired off there. The opponent not wanting to debuff their defense so early in the switch clock. But now this Aqua Tail is going to land, so they're down a shield, they've lost a bunch of health, it's another Night Slash, there's the switch into Kommo'o, opponent does not get the close combat, Kommo'o exits very, very healthy. What is the opponent going to have in the back? It's going to be Talonflame. Talonflame, oh, waits the turn, tries for the catch, but it's just never going to happen. Incinerate, it does incredible damage and energy generation, but it's too clunky when trying to catch. And Kommo'o is going to get the back-to-back Clanging Scales. First one shielded, second one picks up the KO. And that's a 2-shield flex as well. Gastrodon versus Sableye in the next game. It is the Shadow Sableye. Shadow Sableye's pacing is very beneficial for it in this matchup. Gastrodon going to respect a potential Dazzling Gleam. It is just going to be the foul play. Gastrodon farming up a ton of energy, opponent with a catch onto Bombardier. Bombardier was hoping to catch an Earth Power, instead it's just going to end up catching that Body Slam. Kommo'o going straight for the Dragon Claw right off the bat before the opponent can make it to a fly. Dragon Claw is going to be shielded. Bombardier, this is a tough call. Are they going to bait with the Rock Tomb? Smudgy says yes, but no. They full send the fly and Kommo'o gets fully one-shot. Oh, that is absolutely tragic for Kommo'o. In comes Drapion, and now Drapion is going to be met with a move as well. It's going to be fly number 2 from Bombardier, and Bombardier just absolutely devastated this team. In the back is Clodsire. Clodsire, honestly, one of the best Pokemon that you could see with a Gastrodon and a Drapion up energy. So Gastrodon probably the best case scenario here, but still that Sableye is going to be an absolute nuisance to get rid of. But speaking of nuisance, this Shadow Drapion, my goodness, Aqua Tail after Aqua Tail after Aqua Tail. In comes the Sableye. Sableye will get to connect with the Dazzling Gleam here. Dazzling Gleam connects, but now in comes the Gastrodon. Gastrodon farms down, and Gastrodon is going to win charge attack priority. So the opponent, they banked the energy on the Clodsire, and it ended up costing them because Clodsire does not win charge attack priority. We move to the next match, Gastrodon staring down Blastoise. Blastoise, obviously never going to do much damage with rollout, but Blastoise will have a pacing advantage and should be able to force Gastrodon into going down a shield in this matchup. Now, Earth Power will not pick up the KO here. Blastoise can hang on. Blastoise going to commit the shield. No Earth Power debuff shenanigans, but I believe the next move is going to be reached on charge attack priority. So the Gastrodon can actually commit the shield, fire off the Earth Power, winning CMP, and if this move KOs, Blastoise's energy will be denied, and down goes Blastoise. So Blastoise gets KO'd, in comes a Fury Cutter Golisopod, Drapion is the pivot, opponent gonna send in Tinkaton as the final Pokemon. Tinkaton, a very important Pokemon to bait out here, as obviously Kommo'o, it's running mono dragon moves. Kommo'o has some really weird moveset synergy with this new move. Obviously the new move is an incredibly good move, but the awkward thing about Clanging Scales is it doesn't really have good synergy with the remainder of the moveset that it currently has. We do see a Bulldoze debuff onto the Drapion. Is Drapion going to get farmed down here? No, Drapion survives on 1 HP. That forces the opponent to pivot out and catch the Aqua Tail onto Golisopod. Golisopod now just going to be walled off by Kommo'o. Kommo'o doing a little flex as Golisopod goes for the Aqua Jet. And a second Aqua Jet is not even going to KO either. Kommo'o should be able to hang on here. Kommo'o gonna no-shield this as well. Kommo'o gets the full farm down. I mean, all that's left is the Tinkaton. And this is a triple resistance to Clanging Scales. This is a 120 base damage move, and it does absolutely nothing. Oh my goodness, that is so funny. Tinkaton going for the play rough, because they know this game's already over. There's just no way of beating the Gastrodon. Gastrodon versus Shadow Scizor in the next match. We'll have to check Scizor's fast move. We won't find out yet because there's a Guzzlord safe switch. Guzzlord firing off a Dragon Claw or a Brutal Swing here. It is going to be the Dragon Claw. And now Gastrodon will get to farm up past the Earth Power and go for a Body Slam bait. Hoping to try and grab a shield from the opponent, but Guzzlord not going to fall for it. Guzzlord going to win charge attack priority, and that does mean that Gastrodon will lose this energy. This will set up farm for the Kommo'o. Kommo'o is going to get a couple Dragon Tail head start, going to get 3 Dragon Tails of energy. In comes Shadow Scizor. Scizor, oh my goodness. This Clanging Scales, it's resisted, but it probably just one-shots here. The opponent will put up the shield, and now in comes Shadow Drapion. Drapion, its biggest worry is these fast moves. The bullet punches add up so much, opponent goes for a Night Slash. That's Night Slash number 2 on charge attack priority. And just like that, the Drapion has already lost 2/3 of its health, and it's had to burn a shield on top of that. The Aqua Tail is going to be shielded up. Drapion just needs to get rid of the Scizor. Scizor does not go for the catch, and that means that Crunch will be able to deliver a knockout. So down they go. In the back is Sableye. Sableye just going to be able to Shadow Claw everything down here. Kommo'o gets to the Dragon Claw, but just not in time. And that's a good game. Moving to the next match, Gastrodon going to be met with Jellicent. With this team would definitely prefer to catch the Jellicent in the back. As on the lead, Jellicent can just go straight Surf to win this. They do end up going for a Shadow Ball, which does get shielded. So a bit of a misplay by the opponent. In comes a Diggersby safe switch, and unfortunately this team is pretty soft to Diggersby. So the Earth Power is going to get a little bit of chip damage, and now in comes Kommo'o. Kommo'o more than happy to absorb a Scorching Sands. Will we see the debuff? No. A Scorching Sands that does not get the debuff, and now Kommo'o not messing around, just going straight for Clanging Scales. Clanging Scales will land, picking up the knockout onto Diggersby. Kommo'o obviously going to have -1 defense. Out comes a Shadow Piloswine, the spice. Oh my goodness. Kommo'o falling just shy of the Dragon Claw there is absolutely devastating. Back in comes the Gastrodon, but I think this Shadow Piloswine should just be able to sweep this game more or less, because unfortunately Shadow Drapion is not going to do well there. Gastrodon goes for the Body Slam. We do see the shield from the Piloswine. Piloswine, oh, there's the catch of the Body Slam onto Jellicent. Absolutely devastating catch. In comes the Drapion, but Drapion just cannot do enough to overcome the Jellicent and this Piloswine. Surf lands from the Jellicent. That does quite a bit of damage. And from here, the opponent can just safely let the Jellicent go and take the win with the Piloswine, and that's exactly what they're going to do. What a cool core breaker from the opponent, bringing Piloswine, and Piloswine ended up being a right nuisance for this team, as unfortunately Drapion needs a double Aqua Tail. It's one shy, so it's just going to get knocked out by the Icicle Spear. Moving to the next match, Gastrodon versus another Shadow Scizor. We'll have to check the fast move on this Scizor. It's Bullet Punch. They're going to save switch into Diggersby, and in comes Kommo'o. This is obviously a scenario where I believe close combat would do slightly more damage. The fact that the damage ranges are kind of close just shows what an absurd move Clanging Scales is. Here the opponent does actually get the Scorching Sands debuff, which is rough, because that means Clanging Scales will now not KO, and that forces all of Kommo'o's energy. So a bit of good luck going the opponent's way. Dragon Claw picks up the knockout. Now in comes Shadow Scizor. Scizor does get a very healthy farm down. Gastrodon is going to be what gets brought in here, because at the very least Gastrodon does resist the bullet punches. We saw how much bullet punch can do to Shadow Drapion. That is not a fun matchup to beat the Drapion. The shield comes up from Gastrodon on the Trailblaze. There's Jellicent in the back. And thank goodness, a much better alignment for this team into Jellicent in this particular matchup. That looks like a charge attack priority tie. Crunch to the Surf. Crunch is going to be shielded. Oh, actually, no, not a charge attack priority tie. I'm currently recording this at 3 in the morning, so it's entirely possible that I'm just seeing things. We are going to see another Surf launched by this Jellicent. That's going to be shielded up. And now Drapion gets to fire off one Poison Sting in the move. This is going to hurt. The Crunch is going to land. Opponent going to send in Scizor, but Scizor will be met with the Aqua Tail. This will force the shield, and there's energy on the Gastrodon. Gastrodon tried to switch out here, didn't get the switch out. Does the opponent have the Trailblaze? If they do, it's a loss, but they don't. They just have the Night Slash, and this will be a win. I had lost track of the energy personally, so that was a very worrisome endgame. But all that's left for the opponent is 1 HP Jellicent, and that's just getting slapped down. Hopping into the final match, Gastrodon versus Shadow Dusknoir. Dusknoir is very used to being the king of fast move pressure. Oh, we see a catch attempt. The catch is unsuccessful, and now the opponent very close to double Dynamic Punch. The shield comes out from the Drapion. Out comes an Alolan Sandshrew. What is this spice? Oh my goodness. The opponent bringing out the spice here. They get absolutely destroyed by a Shadow Crunch. And now they're going to have to put up a shield as Aqua Tail comes through. They're going to farm up, and they actually win charge attack priority over the Drapion. Night Slash won't knock out. They have to full send a Blizzard, and Blizzard will pick up the KO. This will set up some farm for the Gastrodon here, as baiting this out is obviously very important because it would completely destroy Kommo'o. Back in comes the Dusknoir. Dusknoir will get KO'd by the Earth Power unless they commit the shield. Earth Power is going to land. They lose so much energy, and out comes Walrein as the final Pokemon. Walrein will take big damage from Earth Power. Earth Power is going to be shielded up. The opponent, will they get a full farm down here? No. They thought about it, but at the last second, they fire off Ice Spear instead. If they farm down, they can probably win this game. But now, Kommo'o will actually be able to take it, because Kommo'o can put up the shield and has the Dragon Claw loaded. So Kommo'o fires off the energy, the opponent's timing there, unfortunately costing them in this game, as they play to a CMP tie that they do not win. And now some final thoughts on Kommo'o and its new move, Clanging Scales. First off, I'm really happy that they've done this move justice. This is far and away the best damage per energy move in the game, but the catch is that this move in the main series is only ever learned by Kommo'o. So it's a lot easier to make a move really strong when you don't have to worry about it getting added to other Pokemon in the future. Unfortunately, Kommo'o the Pokemon, it still has moveset synergy issues even with this incredible new move. And that's that every other charge move that it learns has pretty poor synergy with Clanging Scales. You can run the moveset that Smudgy ran here, the Mono Dragon moveset, which has the best synergy overall, but obviously you have no coverage. So if you end up in a bad matchup, you have no ability to fight back. There's also Close Combat, which is running Double Nuke, but then every move you throw is guaranteed to lower your defense, and you lose some of that pacing, whereas being able to consistently get a move in 12 turns is a lot better than getting to it in 15. And then finally, Brick Break. Brick Break is, I think, the closest to what it would want, but Brick Break is still a very poor move. Ideally, it would want something pretty similar to Dragon Claw stats, but just as a fighting move, and that way it could still retain some of the coverage that it had, but not have to sacrifice all of that closing power. So, all in all, this is a really good addition to Kommo'o. I think Kommo'o, it may see some anti-meta play now just because this is an incredibly strong move. I don't think it moves it as a meta contender, but this is far and away the best case scenario for a move that it could have gotten. So I'm incredibly pleased with this Comm Day, and I think this is definitely a Comm Day worth playing as it's a really sick shiny, and this move is incredibly strong. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy watching content like this, please do consider leaving a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our channel members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is genuinely so wonderful. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.